No doubt by now you've heard about the latest scandal in Washington, D.C. General David Petraeus resigned as director of the CIA because of an affair. Here to chat about it on this trial Tuesday, our legal general and a man I'd follow into battle in a courtroom any day of the week, Attorney David Aylor. Counselor, thank you so much for being here. Let's get to the basics, the meat and potatoes of this thing. General David Petraeus, once a four-star decorated general, now out of a job and really facing scandal.
Yeah, he is, and I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon because there seems to be a lot of legs on this situation from the point of his resignation and then where it goes from here, because he was actually supposed to testify in regards to the situation in Benghazi soon to come within this week, and now that's been canceled, so it's even causing more scandal.
Indeed, and another four-star general, his replacement in Afghanistan, I believe, now under some scrutiny as well.
Right. He has not been relieved of his duties, but there's some issues related to a lady that's involved with the Petraeus scandal, which would be Mrs. Kelly, not Mrs. Broadwell, who wrote the article, but the lady that she alleged to have emailed and threatened her, and or maybe more just sent her some urging messages to leave General alone, right, somehow is involved as well.
So these were two competing women, and then one found out about the other, and the emails started to be exchanged?
Well, from what I understand, the initial concerns were by Mrs. Kelly down in Florida, who is a liaison to the military, and those emails were being sent from Mrs. Broadwell, and were not of a criminal sense, but more of a harassing sense, and she turned those over to a friend within the FBI, and then really the investigation started from there, and then led to where we are today.
Well, let's talk about that harassment issue, because obviously if it can happen to the director of the CIA, it probably happens in real life, people around the LowCountry as well. So what can you do? What kind of legal ramifications and action can you take if you're receiving some harassing emails, either from a jilted lover or, let's say, an old business partner, anyone you meet in everyday life?
Well, if you don't have an FBI connection to try to turn them over to, then probably the best thing you can do is make sure you send a clear statement to that person to stop, sending you those messages, whether it be, via email, Facebook, Twitter, or, you also have a lot of issues just related to telephone calls, text messages, that sort of thing. And then beyond that, if they continue, then there are some criminal charges, and people are often charged with them that, can take it further than that.
What about people that's staying away, being ordered to stay away from a judge, kind of restraining orders, that kind of thing, not being allowed to get on social media? Can that happen, and is it pretty commonplace in our justice system?
Yes, it can. It can be a part of bond conditions and things like that. You'll often see it, anything that's related to internet crimes, things like that, where they're told they're not allowed to be on the web. But obviously, yeah, even within the family court setting, you'll see things related to making comments, disparaging comments about the spouse or former spouse, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it really goes across the board. But in this case, it's more the issues that they were concerned about with General Petraeus' security clearance and what he may be doing.
Yeah, because there are these emails, and it might come out that Mrs. Burwell right there, she may knew some classified information.
Right. I mean, there's been something said at a speech she recently made in the University of Denver, and they're now claiming that they have no idea where she got that information related to the annex in Benghazi, and that the information is incorrect. So that was the ultimate concern from, the security standpoint. A lot of people are like, well, why does it matter what he does in his personal life? Well, when it starts to blend into his professional life, just like for any of us, that's where the problem lies.
And I'm sure he has many secrets that obviously he wanted to stay.
Yeah.
Secret, so it really could be a damaging thing. Do you see him facing criminal charges?
I don't think so. It doesn't appear that there's been anything that's gone beyond that point. However, as of just yesterday, the FBI was at Mrs. Broadwell's home there in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they were looking for something. We don't know what it was, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, and how about him? Does he face any kind of ramifications from this? They say that he was not in the military during the time the affair started, but that could play a kind of a factor in if he is facing criminal charges.
Well, the interesting part of it is going to be what exactly he's allowed to come out and if he's disclosed anything, whether he was within the military or in his role as CIA director. Clearly, there's a number of things, probably hundreds of thousands of things, that, is not something that he can provide to others, particularly a civilian. He did provide her a lot of access within the writing of his book, which a lot of people were a little bit disturbed by that in the first place, prior to even knowing about the affair.
All right, well, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that, and I'm sure you and I will be talking about this for many months to come.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Indeed, will. David Aylor, thank you so much for being on the program. We appreciate it, and we'll be right back with more LowCountry Live.